Yeah, that goes now.
All right, we have a motion from Tom to approve the minutes. Do I have a second? All right, Stan has the second. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. All right, first item under new business, I'm going to turn over to our county administrator, Mr. Jones, to review the March 2023 budget. Mr. Jones, I'll let you take it away.
So in our agenda packet that was published, we did not have this because the bank reconciliation actually came out today that we can work with. But a couple of things of interest to be mindful of is we're actually doing well, as sort of is customary with us. We are at 25, as of the end of this month, we were at 25% of the year completed, of which our revenues are up so high that we've already met April's expectations are now into May. Also, likewise with our expenditures, we're spending less than we budgeted for too. So from a financial perspective, we're doing well. I would like to point out, however, that we did get the first of our bills for the back parking lot. So if you look on the front page of our revenues, you'll see under SPOS 2019 that we did have a check of $81,000 that went out as part of the first payment for SPOS. We knew that was coming, but we were able to meet that bill, and we have 182 still sitting in the bank. So pretty concise. Outside of that, there isn't much to discuss unless you have specific questions.
Do you want to give a update on the copier situation? How we
Sure,
are
glad to. So as you know, the board, council, I should say, approved for a copier to be paid for out of ARPA funds. What you may not know is that the copy machine that we had, the dinosaur, broke down this past month. We are still waiting on Toshiba to have the new copy machine delivered. They are saying it'll happen this month in April. But in the meantime, we were functionally down. So we reached out to a secondary company, and they had a copy machine on hand that we are temporarily renting, and that's what's getting us through. The rental's $300, and there's cost for a copy, but that is what we have to have in order to do our jobs.
So, as usual, you know, they're doing an awesome job. We're a quarter of the way in. We've already got 38% of our budget. Quarter of the way in, we almost hit 19%. It's just, as usual, I know we say this every month, but it's just a great job by staff of watching the pennies.
Is there anything on this that's not just timing? Anything extraordinary?
Not really. At this point in time, it's just most of the time.
Next item under new business is the first reading of an ordinance that will revise the compensation for mayor. As you know, we have grown as a town over the last handful of years. Just the job of mayor is growing and getting to be more and more. And I think that now would be a good time to discuss changing the compensation. Currently, mayor is paid $100 a month, mainly as a stipend for gas. I would like to see that salary raised up to $1,000 a month, which is about ballpark for towns of our size and budget. But it also would make things easier on the mayor as they are putting time into the town to be getting a little bit back. I know that personally I have spent a lot of my own personal time that I had banked for vacation or other pay to go towards the town, which, you know, I certainly don't mind because it's all part of the job. But this is just another step in professionalizing the town hall and the workforce, and we just bring it to you for consideration. Brad, is there anything in particular, about the ordinance that you wanna point out or that we need to know?
Well, the prior ordinance did not, it did, I guess, because a lot of this came out of the prior ordinance that was adopted, okay? But it did not provide for expense payments for council persons. So what we have added in here is an expense that while council persons are still not, being compensated, they would be able to be reimbursed for their, mileage, money they spend doing something, attending. I'm not sure how y'all have been doing it when you send the new council people to
Personnel policy.
train,
Reimbursement.
you follow what I'm saying,
Yes, sir.
on that, but it's one thing to pay the, expense of the hotel room or something.
Right.
But as far as reimbursing them for meals, it just makes it clear
Thank you.
that both the mayor and the council people get reimbursed for their expenses.
I wasn't aware the council member reimbursement was not a part of it. Thank you for catching that and fixing it. We really appreciate it. Council members, do y'all have any questions? All right, being that, this is an ordinance and, you know, get opinions and input from the public, do I have any questions out here from it?
Lou, I'm not used to having so many people around, but yeah. I've got stage fright.
Now, just about this, not everything, just.
No,
just
this
one.
is about, no, actually, I've got some charts made up. Everybody knows you're a hard worker. The energizer of money, I would say, more or less. And everybody knows the difference from the previous administration to this administration. No doubt about that.
Right,
But, I did that one time before. The payroll, our payroll and the FICA insurance for 23, and you based it, said it's gonna be this because it's gonna be 24, is gonna be a huge, I think it's, I've got a chart here for you. Let me give it to you. Give it to everybody.
sure.
Give one of those to everybody.
One
Take
of these, everybody, one of
Yeah.
these, everybody?
And one of these. Well, one of these,
Any one of
too.
these?
Yeah. I got a few extra, I did, so these people here can, hold on.
Thank you.
It's gonna be a huge portion of the general fund budget. I think it's, this one is more graphic. Hang on, part from it, Tom. That's a picture of what the budget looks like, and I'm gonna have one, we do, I think, on that. There's a, I'm gonna give Floyd one that's got the numbers on it, so you can check my numbers to be sure I did it right, cause I did it kinda quick. But,
All be the same.
yeah, just get one to everybody, if you don't mind.
Sure.
The budget is, for the payroll for the insurance and FICA is 45% of the entire general fund, which as you can see by the chart is a, well, 45, you'll have to see by a chart.
Right.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And-
Absolutely, people are the number one thing that we've got in this town. I absolutely agree.
Also, there's on there, there's what, the mayor of Turin and Newnan and Grantville, all the little towns except Harrison, I didn't include Harrison. How many people they have, how many people they have working in their, not count the town clerk, how many people they've got working, and even the mayor of Newnan. And if you look at those numbers, it's a little bit surprising. Well, Sharpsburg would stand in the standing should, if this is approved.
What does it say for Newnan?
Now, and, of course, Newnan has got a huge population, and Grantville's got a big one too.
So,
But they also.
where did you
need
get these
utilities.
numbers?
I got that number from the town clerks.
Okay.
All the numbers came from the town clerks, except Grantville I got off the website. I got
And
it.
so, just to point out, the mayor's annual salary right now is 1,200. So we'd actually be, 4 out of 5 your than the current salary.
Oh, I know you're underpaid, I don't doubt that for a moment, nobody probably even wants a job, to tell you the truth. I'm serious, it's not an easy job.
So the way that I came up with the 12,000 number is I went to the wage and salary survey that DCA does, and I pulled salaries for towns that were between 500 and 1,000 people. We are at 336 right now, but of course our goal is 500 to 1,000, and that $9, $10, $12,000 was right in the ballpark. You know,
How to
it's
win the
not-
popularity contest.
Pardon?
Say how to win the popularity contest.
Well, I mean,
Me, I'm
it's-
talking about my information.
Right. It's just, you know, when I looked at the salaries for towns of comparable size, and not just population, but also in budget, you know, the way that we have been able to effectively grow our budget without raising taxes, puts us in a little bit higher of a category than most 200-300 people towns. And so it's just really a combination of those two things, of how I got to the $1,000 a month. Yes, ma'am.
How many hours would you say that you work weekly as mayor?
At least 30, and some weeks it varies.
So 30 times 4.33, which is how many average weeks, so you average work 139 hours a week. So $1,000 a month divided by 130 hours is $769 an hour.
If this is
I mean-
a volunteer-
But
this is a
no, I-
volunteer job.
No, I know, but, you know, just for the stage going forward, I think that if you want someone to do the job and do the well and spend time doing it,
The quality of, yeah.
right.
And two, I'll be honest, I wanted to raise it, so we raised the quality of candidates that we get. I think that I just really think it will lead to a higher, and to more accountability. Because if I'm not sitting in this seat and someone's sitting here and they're not doing enough to make what they're gonna be, I'm gonna be out there where you are saying, hey, you're getting to do this, but you only been here one day this month. Where's the value in that? And it gives, you know, the public more of a lever to pull on a little bit. You know, there needs to be accountability.
You got the ultimate accountability at the ballot box. If you're not doing the job, no matter what you're being given for your expenses.
Yeah.
I mean, they can throw you out if they don't like what you're doing.
Anybody else? Anybody else on council? All right, so Brad, do we need to do we vote on this as a motion and then have a second reading next month?
Yeah.
And then it goes before? Okay, if I can get a motion, for council to, approve the new ordinance that's been drafted, 2301. All right, so we've got Stan with the first,
I'll second.
Elizabeth is the second. All in favor? Opposed? All right, thank you. 3-1, Lloyd. Yeah. All right. Under old business, the next item that we have come is the demolition at 39 Main Street. Last week, I got a copy of Tom's bid sheet. I'm going to scan it and put it in
Oh, I'll
with
correct it.
the
That's why
fire
I gave him
codes
all
that
the
we
numbers
need
so he
to
can
put it
correct
out for
everything.
bid, and then just rebid it,
I mean,
put
all
it
the-
back out.
For the
I'll go
town.
back out to the same three that we went before, and we've had one or two others that have reached out in the meantime, saying, hey, I do clearing and demolition and this, that, and the other. So hopefully we'll send it out to 3, 4, 5 bidders this go
You
round.
think we'll have that for next month? Maybe.
Yes, yeah, no, that is my goal, yes, absolutely. I'd like to have it up for discussion next month as well.
Okay.
You're gonna go ahead and get somebody to come in there and inspect it for lead and asbestos up front.
Yes, yes, sir.
We also need to talk about what we're gonna do about getting that debris moved and getting the trash taken care of.
So I'll ask Floyd on the follow-up with the road, because I know that we put bids out and we need to see how many we've got. But yeah, we'll take care of, we'll take care of that. Are we still sitting at 2 bids, Floyd,
For rats,
for the rodents?
maybe
Maybe, okay, sure.
They had two, I don't know if you got a number.
Okay.
I know we have at least the two, I'm trying to think of zero.
Okay. I kinda don't think so, I think we're still at the two, because I think you would've mentioned it if another one.
Maybe, yeah.
So, but yeah, we do attend.
What I was referring to is both of those guys told us things we need to do before they even show up,
Right,
which was moving the cement culverts, moving the,
right.
bricks.
Yeah,
The
The county can help us move the stuff. Problem is I've just gotta get over there to get that cleared out, or get someone over there to clear out some space on the tank lot so we can move it,
Yeah.
get it over there. Do we have any other questions on Deckham House? All right, for the back parking lot, no distinct direct news, but we had another church reach out to offer help with the playground. And I'm gonna try to meet with him out here this week, see what they are able to offer. First thing that I'm gonna ask for is gonna be, if they have a landscape architect or a designer in the congregation help with the planning and designing, then we'll, ask for help with either direct, things that we're putting in, either play sets or plants or whatever, or if there's some services that they can help us with, putting in the lights, coming in and providing the dirt for the backfill, along with some of the other stuff, just to kind of figure out what they can do compared to what we need. And honestly, there's a handful of things out there, so if we come at them with a list of 10 and they can only do 5, well, then we've got 5 of them knocked out. I'm hoping to have that meeting this week and just kind of get a general sense. And then from there, it's just gonna be working down the punch list of items that need to be cleaned up and straightened out.
Can we also look at, the company that Brad suggested that with the equipment where they go out and fundraise and, because I feel like if we're gonna redo the playground, I want it to be done right.
I remember the conversation, but I don't remember the company, but we can certainly, we can track them down. Is it the one that did the CD Street Park over? Not CD Street.
Oh, boom, boom, or something like that.
Kaboom.
Kaboom, that's it. Okay.
Cause I would like for it to be a place where, people wanna come,
Absolutely.
if we're gonna redo it.
Are you thinking about physically moving it? Because the area now has been pinched in so much.
So in that back corner over there where we've got the rocks and we've got the silk fence, it's a pretty wide area. It's probably from me to Floyd, maybe a little bit further back, but it comes and it drops off. If we can get that area filled and rise up, I found the corner of the lot and it's over there by that big tree. So we have more room than I thought we did if we come in and backfill and lift that grade up.
You got a lot of big heavy rocks over there that you could lay fill on top of. And that
Yes.
would also get used for the cement plugs or the light
Yes,
posts
it
used to
would.
be.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
So if we can get some dirt brought in and filled and lift that grade up, that's gonna give us an area probably almost as big in square footage as what we had. Now, it's gonna be a different shape. It's gonna be more of a circle rather than a kidney bean shape like we used to have. But it'll,
Any issue with it being farther away from the pavilion? It looks like it's just about almost looking for kids from the pavilion.
I mean, if you wanna sit in the shade,
well, now the good thing about this area is it is tucked in closer to the tree, so there will be more shade.
that'll be good.
But I think in the design of it, you're right. I hate going to a playground and it's just the
No.
sun just beating. We'll have to do, we're gonna need to do some kind of sunshade. I mean, they have products now that are just poles and fabric and it's expensive, but it's, cheaper than a roof.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we can certainly do that. As far as the fencing and the trees, we've got the quote from Arbor Valley. We've got I think we have an additional quote for the evergreens out there, but we didn't have time to bundle and prep them as a bid for you guys to consider tonight. So let us get those together, we'll send those out. And I think most of the prices came up underneath $1,000. So we should be, $1,000 per tree. I don't know what the planning was, so we can still within what we discussed a couple months ago. But we've got the final, or another number to bring to you.
Did you ever hear anything back from Breaking Ground on?
I reached out to Arbor Valley, I
Okay.
did not talk to her.
They promised me they're gonna come out and look at it, they haven't, I don't guess.
They haven't talked to me at all.
Okay, okay.
And I'll follow up on that tomorrow. I've got the bid for the trees from them,
Okay,
for the 10.
okay, and I've got Arbor Valley. Okay.
Cool.
So that's where we are on that spot, on that parking lot. Coming back to LMIG, we talked about this last month, wanting to bring bids, and I had the task to go get some questions answered from the contractor. The total, his minimum mobilization price for the one guy that we're waiting on was $3,500. We're at about $6,800 for the striping, so we're not running into any minimums on that. His price does include our traffic control, but we gotta wait till late April, mid-May anyway, because the asphalt has to be warm enough. You can't paint in cooler weather, which makes sense, and if I thought it through, I would've said, oh, I don't need to rush now, because it's not gonna be warm for another 60 days. But we're gonna need to wait till, probably get it scheduled probably in May, and that'll also give us time to get either the county or Arbor Valley out to clean the road edges.
Well, when I spoke to Arbor Valley, they're not gonna be considering for the road edges.
Oh, they're not? Okay.
No.
Oh, okay, okay. Alright. Then we'll work with the county to find someone to do the striping. But, that's where we are on the LMIG, Local Maintenance Improvement Grant. Is there any other questions about the old business or anything we talked about so far?
What about the fencing? Where are we on that?
So we are gonna,
The buckets.
we're gonna put that back out for bid. Certifab, was not able to complete it, and so we'll put that back out for bid. But we don't have any bid documents or anything prepared for that.
Have you decided what you wanna do as far as the length of it? Down to
No,
Quarter
but-
and back out to Beckham?
We will, say that again?
Are you gonna run it the entire L shape from the purple container down to the corner and then back out to the street?
No, sir, we were just gonna do like, I think the original measurement was 204 feet from the container down to about where the white flag is. There's a white flag maybe 5 feet before the area bubbles out, and I was just gonna have it stop right there, because we've got all the underbrush, and that would be the area that the playground would be. So the original bid, was just like 200 feet. And I'll go out and measure that and make sure that it's about right, because we kinda did, so, well, maybe it needs to come back here, maybe it needs to come back here. But it was all based on the line from the corner coming down.
Just the old chain link fence.
Just the old chain link fence, yeah. So it's gonna probably honestly be about 6 inches inside of the old chain link fence, basically. And that'll give us just enough room to run a mower down through there, and then get on the other side, run a mower on the other side.
Do we own past that chain link fence? Where it was?
No, we get a right of entry for them. The Wombles have expressed an interest in having that back corner grubbed so that we can see how the water is draining from. When we get the right of entry for that, because we'll have the county do that, we'll also get a right of entry to be able to come over and maintain that edge of the property line, so it doesn't grow up, and we'll just keep a copy of that on file here at Town Hall. All right, so do I have any questions or comments from the public on any of the items that we talked about or covered? All right. Council, is there any comments on new business or old business, any other questions? All right, I'll go ahead and start the polling of council. I will start right here beside me, Ms. Good.
I got nothing.
All right, Stan? Good. All right, Mr. Teagle?
I I have nothing.
All right.
Don't feel good.
Mr. Jones,
Yeah, leave it up to me.
Mr. Jones, I'll let you go ahead and take over your,
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. So council, a couple of items that came up. One, each of you should have a personal financial disclosure statement, with the exception of you, Tom, already have yours back. This is due with regards to, state ethics, since you're in elected positions. They are due by the end of June. And they're going to be for calendar year 2022. So I would encourage you to go ahead and take a look at it. Probably not much has changed from year to year, but that's up to you. But I will need it so I can do filings of ethics. Part two, GFL. I have presented to each of you a packet. Late last week, we received a meeting with GFL. And to give you the short summary of it, in June of 2012, county entered into a 5-year contract with GFL. That contract, expired in some sense in 2017, but it had a rollover clause that has been in effect ever since. When it was initially first agreed to back in 12, town had 143 garbage cans, and it was $9 a can. After it started rolling over, the cost went up to $11 per can. We had 146 cans. Due to inflation, you'll see the packet, I'm giving you the short version. Due to inflation, GFL has come to us, saying they need to raise the prices, so that it goes now from roughly $11 a can to $22 a can. It actually constitutes a 106% increase to GFL. So I'm going to need direction from council on a couple of matters. One, do you want to take GFL out to bid? Number two, if you don't want to take it out, then I would need to have the authorization to go ahead and transfer funds from contingency to our line item for residential garbage in order to meet the budget shortfall of what will now be $7,000. That is what I'm gonna need, and then authorization to sign the agreement if that is council's desire.
This is a rollover contract, so they're saying no, we'll start a new contract on May the 1st.
Yes, sir.
I think we need to put this out for bid. I do too. That's too big of an increase, at least to get a reality check.
You need to look at the contract, because I think those GFL contracts, you needed to give them notice 90 days ago.
Well, did they give us notice on these?
We just got the notice on.
Can they do that?
It's
Under
probably a 30-day contract.
They said if we did go out to bid, that they would negotiate the price.
No good, well, you need to look at the contract, though, to see.
Yeah. And I thought that the other year, we talked to them about having this take effect in January. I thought we moved it from a May start to a January start.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it wouldn't be anything that would have been signed, maybe it was just a budget thing that we did.
Another issue, a question for you, is are they willing to, you think they're willing to lock this in for a period of time, or are they gonna just come back to us in a couple of months and jack up again?
Well, this is through to
2028.
That's
Yeah,
5-year.
it's a five-year, right.
They're anticipating a heck of a lot of inflation, a heck of a lot of high diesel bills and high labor. So they're anticipating, that's a mighty big jump.
It is a mighty big jump, but we haven't had a significant increase.
Yeah.
We haven't had an increase.
Another thing was, on my residential at Pollard, we just got notified, we were at $51 every 3 months, and they went up $6.
That's not a 106% increase.
No, it's not, but
But also on the same side, you doubtfully did not have a contract you entered into in 2012.
and that was a big point for them.
So we knew going into it, eventually we would have to pay the piper with GFL. The only silver lining to this is that we can go out to bid and try to get a more competitive price. Anything that we end up paying is gonna end up being around 18 to 22 a can. That's just the modern day prices. problem that I have with it is it's gonna take effect in May, and I don't know that I know we budgeted for the CPI increase, and we built in a little bit, but we didn't build in 106. I mean, we just
Yeah.
didn't.
But if we can get them to negotiate, we can, I mean, that's at least better.
And what I'd like to try to do is, if we could get maybe a 6-month extension, just somewhere in between this, that would give us time to bid it out, and then also realign it for a January start, because this is gonna mess our budget up by having this mid-year change.
We're in the middle of.
We're right in the middle of it, so, and on the money side, we're okay, I'm not worried about that, it's just to make it easier on us for budgeting and administrative to fix it. So maybe we could come back to them with just a temporary bridge, because it's gonna take us, I don't know how long it's gonna take us to bid this out, I mean, just,
And there's no guarantee you'll have better service with anybody else,
or better rates,
or better rates.
you know, so that's kind of been the trade-off for us, is we've had a really great price, but the service has been kind of spotty for that really great price. The other thing that we may want to consider, and this will be something for the business community to chip in on, we have an opportunity with any of these disposal companies to have a town-wide agreement to where it's residential and business. If that's the case, we would get a franchise check from the garbage company for providing town-wide services. Of course, if we add 31 or 32 businesses to this bill, that's gonna jump up considerably. Because then it's gonna be the big dumpsters. But we would get a franchise agreement back, probably anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 to $7,000. Now, that's not gonna help us if we are whatever over, but that is something to consider.
Can we use that to negotiate with them?
Yeah, I think, yeah, absolutely, because in fact, the last time it came up, Mandy, the young lady that was with GFL, said, well, let me know because we'll do a franchise agreement. And I'm like, okay, so we could definitely use that, I think, as a negotiating tactic.
The trash service is good, but the recycle is terrible.
And that, yes, it is,
We talked about that,
we talked about that.
and service has gotten considerably better since all the problems we were having.
Or since all the people left?
They have new people, there's,
No, I mean, everybody switched.
Yeah, the clients, all the people switching from GFL.
they also gave us 3 cans free of charge for the pavilion, which we've had problems out there with, leftover trash because, say like the market or whoever has a party out there, there was even maggots out there in those cans. So they dropped off 3 cans already for us to have in the pavilion. They said every 3 months they would come out and scrub them free of charge. So, I guess that was the bonus.
Another thing that I would like to see in the negotiations is that if we can negotiate having the smaller garbage truck come out here and pick up our garbage. I can show you where everybody puts their garbage can because of the indentations on the road from where the garbage truck comes up, stops, grabs it, dumps it, and drives off, but they stop in that same spot 52 times a year. And there are places around town where the road has started to progress in, so I wanna try to get the smaller garbage truck over here rather than that real big one. I think it's just better for the people in the roads and the traffic.
So we voted.
What's y'all's preference? Do you want us to start looking for other bids? Do you want us to slow walk and negotiate? You want us to try to push
Well,
it back?
do we need to look at the contract and see if we even can?
Brad, do we need to look at the contract and see what the terms are?
Oh, we need to know, yeah.
Yeah, we have a contract right here.
Have y'all even spoken with Pollard?
No.
This is brand new to us.
No, we haven't, but no, they'll be one of the
we have 71 homes in our neighborhood, and they pick up every week, no problem, so if you got 140?
124.
124, it's, you know, right, close to twice what we have, and it's,
Yeah.
that's not a problem.
So we got 146 cans.
It's 146 cans, but we've got 124 rooftops. So some folks have extra cans.
They're supposedly paid for their own. on
Yeah, and
Saturday.
theoretically, they pay for their own, but every now and then it'll creep up. And we gotta creep it back down.
Yeah, we went through a gyration a year ago where we cut it by 10%.
Yep.
They charged us for breaking lots.
But yeah, Paula will be one of the ones that we go for, that Amwaste who has the Newnan contract. And then of course it'll be on the website, so anybody that sees it can bid for it. Alright,
We're taking a look and see.
okay,
Contract.
okay.
Our Philadelphia lawyer.
Well, the term started May 1 of 2012. It ended April 30, 2017.
Yeah.
There's an automatic extension of 5 years.
Okay.
In 2017. Alright, so that means that it expired May 1, for lack of a better term, of 2022.
So we've been on.
Alright, and
Okay.
so is you almost completed the first year of your next
Third.
5-year term.
Well, I mean, I'd be okay hanging on for another 5 years, to be honest
Okay.
with you.
Alright,
I mean,
unless you give them notice of an intention not to extend, not less than 90 days prior to the extension of the then current term. So that would have meant if it was May 1, that would have been April, March, February, you would have needed to give them notice by February 1 of 2022.
whoops, missed that deadline.
And so did they.
But anyway,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
they, of course, you know, they had a lot of folks that did terminate the contract.
Right.
I mean,
So,
I wouldn't hesitate to go back to it.
Can you, once we sign the contract, and we decide to change, can we give them 90 days notice? Or at least lock in that contract for 2028?
Well, the contract's already running until 2020, I guess. Actually, it's technically
that's what I'm,
2027.
that's what I'm wondering, if it hadn't already rolled over, then I mean,
Well, it's rolled over.
Yeah, it's rolled over.
I'm not.
But what they're doing, I guess,
Can't
is
they do that?
telling you that they'll lock in, I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
They'll lock in the $22 a can
I was about to say, I just roll over for the $9.
for 5 years. I guess that's what this is.
Yeah, and Floyd can just find out and see exactly
Send me
what,
a copy of that.
but council, I get the sense that you guys are interested in bidding out, if this is the number that they're gonna jump to, and then just seeing where it goes from there,
Yeah.
Man, see if they're willing to negotiate.
see if they wanna negotiate. My thing is what price will they go to if we don't agree to this until the new contract starts? Are they gonna jack it up
That's
in the
what I'm
meantime?
gonna see what it
Okay.
says.
Okay. 'Cause the only thing that I really want is just enough time for us to get a good, true bid and a good, true look at it.